Y'all are really gonna have to forgive me for this opening line. It is a true contender for the worst insect pun of all time. Are y'all okay with that? Alright, here it is. Americans are abuzz about the 2024 periodical cicada emergence. Alright, take this moment for a brief eye roll and let's talk about this particularly peculiar rude brood. So first things first, depending on what app you're using to listen to this podcast, the thumbnail image should be the 2024 cicada emergence map, and two things should immediately stand out. First, we here in Houston shouldn't be too affected. That might surprise local doom scrollers that for some reason were led to believe this emergence would be a nationwide apocalypse. Instead, you'll see that it is primarily the Midwest and the Southeast that will be the most affected. So think southern Wisconsin to Atlanta and southern Alabama. The second and most important thing you'll notice is that it is actually 2 broods emerging this year, not just one. Technically, the broods are identified as Brood 13 and Brood 19 in Roman numerals. Okay, stay with me for this next bit. Brood 13 emerges every 17 years, and Brood 19 emerges every 13 years. These 2 broods last co-emerged in 1803 and won't co-emerge again for about 221 years. That's quite a meaningful family reunion. I mean, beyond these reunions being separated by several generations, but semantics. 200 plus years sounds like quite a long time between events. But here's the thing. It's 221 years or so between the co-emergences of any 2 specific broods, but any 2 random broods will co-emerge about every 25 years. Single emergences obviously occur much more annually. So, no, this isn't the doom-scrolling apocalypse hype train some might have been coerced into believing. But actually, and I was surprised to learn this myself, cicadas don't normally pose that kind of biblical threat to our crops like some of us might believe. They primarily feed on trees and woody shrubs, not crops. And even then, they barely do any damage at all, no matter how large the swarm. A little nibble about cicadas themselves, though. Depending on the type of periodical cicada, their life cycle is either 13 or 17 years, like I mentioned a moment ago. When a brood emerges, they live for about a month, during which time they eat, breed, and lay eggs in trees before they die. The eggs they leave behind hatch in about 6 to 7 weeks, and the nymphs fall to the soil where they live and feed off of root sap until they emerge as adult cicadas 13 or 17 years later, depending on the brood. So, that's the 2024 cicada co-emergence summed up. It's not going to be the apocalypse some might be worried about, but the buzz is still quite fascinating. Okay, 2 terrible insect puns. Thanks for listening to Science Bites. I've been your host, Johnny Hemberger. Be sure to subscribe to our flagship podcast, Beyond Bones. I'll include links below. As always, thanks for listening, stay curious, and come visit us at the Houston Museum of Natural Science.